My name is Sharron Labatt. I am a visual artist. I work in oils and acrylics on canvas and wood. I live in Fort Qu'Appelle, originally from Regina. I live on Echo Lake and my studio overlooks the lake. And I show work here at Hanson Ross House Gallery. I moved here with my first husband. I had 2 young boys. We'd rented our house out in the city and we moved into his parents' cottage here. And we thought we'd only stay the year, but one thing led to another and we were here. The landscape soon took over. The valley kind of calls to you. It's a gorgeous place to be. There's a lot of places to explore, and especially if you get out in a canoe on the water, there's no end of possibilities, places you can go and look, and it's, I don't know, there's something about being out in nature that it's just very refreshing and wonderful. And I've made a lot of great friends here. I think people are very friendly and supportive, and yeah, it's great. The first gallery that I was at was the Assiniboia Gallery in Regina. I was with them for about 15 years, and it was a good relationship. I decided I wanted to experiment with portraiture, but the Assiniboia doesn't handle portraiture. So we decided to part ways. And at the same time, Connie was opening her gallery here. And so I thought, well, she invited me to have work. I think I've produced more work since I've been here. I've been more excited to produce the work. And overall, it's been a great relationship, and I just think it'll keep on that way. My artwork is called two-dimensional because it's on a flat surface. Mostly I do landscapes, although they're more abstracted now. I do a lot of water reflection work. The light bouncing off the water has really caught my eye. Trying to replicate that, and at first I started with a full landscape, doing the hills and the sky, which I still do occasionally. But then over time, as I experimented more and did more, I then focused on the water itself. I like playing with the materials, the acrylic medium. There's so many different things you can do, and you can layer. There's transparencies. I like the way the light bounces off the acrylics. I use a rather thick application, although not too thick. When I start a piece, I try to imagine what it might look like when it's done. Because the work is a bit abstracted, I kind of have to go with the flow. When I'm doing the water reflections, I often will go and stand out on the deck of my studio and look at the water for inspiration. And a lot of times I'm just working from my imagination. I spend a lot of time mixing color, probably as much time as I do applying the paint to the canvas. When you have a look at the work, there are dabs or spots of color, and they're pure color. For example, I might put a yellow, a red, and an orange spot, and when you stand back, the colors kind of mix. And then if I intersperse some green or some blue with that, there's a different optical effect too. So there's that going on as well. I guess I paint what I see, and so I see water a lot. Fort Qu'Appelle also has been quite supportive. I've done a number of murals around town. Some are more traditional murals, and others were commissioned by businesses. The Pharmasave has a mural on the side, and the previous owner, Dennis Pommier, asked me to paint a mural. showing the history of the store when the drugstore first started, and it was called Dunk the Druggist. So there's a picture of Dunk sitting on a bench, and Chief Asham from Asham's Point sitting beside him. They were great buddies, I guess. Then the Saskatchewan liquor store in town, they get a budget for advertising every year, and some years ago they asked me to do a commercial type project for them. It's quite large and it's double-sided, as you'll see, and both of those murals used a very toxic paint. I don't even know if they make it now. I had to rent the old CN station in town and paint there with the doors wide open and the windows and fans going, because it was oil-based and probably lead. I would never do it again, but it has stood up. They're still going after 20-some years. They still look pretty good. And then the Legion in town asked me to do one to commemorate some of the Legionnaires. The main one was Harold Ross. He was a local fellow who got a lot of medals for bravery during the war. And another one, John Strudwick, was a bomber pilot, and his plane is in the mural. I've often wondered, kind of like the chicken and the egg idea. Did I really become involved with landscapes and the reflection on water idea because I lived here? Or, had I lived somewhere else, could I have got into painting urban scenes? I suppose I could have. But since I'm here, it is incredibly inspiring. The light, the sunsets, the atmosphere, it's sort of no end of sources of inspiration, and I've run with it for quite a while, and I think I can do more.
Are you an artist who's interested in appearing on maxTV Local? Email us at max.local@sastel.com.